Her fingers pressed down on my daughter's skull, forcing her into the fountain. The water churned as my little girl thrashed, bubbles breaking the surface like frantic cries. My mother-in-law's face was tight, her teeth bared as she hissed, "We don't need a child like this." I moved before thought. My arms pulled my daughter free, her small body clinging to me, coughing water, shaking like a dying bird. I looked at my mother-in-law. She didn't flinch. She straightened her clothes as if what she had done was no crime at all. My daughter buried her face into my chest, whispering through shallow breath, words so fragile I almost missed them. "Daddy," she said, "Mommy doesn't want me." Everything inside me stilled. Not rage, not grief, just stillness. I carried my daughter home. My wife met us at the door, concern painted across her face, though I saw how quickly her eyes darted to her mother before resting on me. I said nothing. I only placed my daughter on the couch and wrapped her in a blanket. Later, when she slept, I asked quietly, "Why would your mother say you don't want her?" My wife's expression faltered for just a moment. Then she smiled too quickly, the way liars do. "You're imagining things." But my daughter's whisper replayed in my mind like a needle caught in the same groove of a record. "Mommy doesn't want me." A truth buried beneath those words gnawed at me. Something darker than cruelty. Something secret. That night, when the house grew silent, I pulled the letter my daughter had scribbled for school from her backpack. A drawing. 3 people holding hands. Me, her, but no mother. A blank space where one should have been. Children don't lie the way adults do. They bleed truth in shapes and colors. And I began to wonder, whose child was she really? I didn't accuse, I didn't confront, I watched. I studied the way my wife avoided my daughter's hugs, how she spoke with clipped tones, how she lingered too long on her phone when messages lit her screen. I began collecting threads. Hair from my daughter's brush, a toothbrush from the bathroom, my own DNA swab, quiet packages sent off to a lab under another name. Meanwhile, I traced my wife's phone records. Calls at odd hours, a number saved under a false name, bank transfers that didn't match our life. The pieces whispered to each other in the silence of my nights. I kept my mask perfect. I smiled at family dinners. I kissed her cheek before work. I held my daughter in my arms as if the world was still whole. But beneath the calm, I counted days. I sharpened myself into patience. And then the results came. The envelope trembled only once in my hand before I opened it. The paper was clinical, cold, no room for misinterpretation. My daughter was not my wife's child. Not biologically, not legally, not in any way that could bind them. She had hidden it. She had built her lies on my devotion, my blindness. I sat at the kitchen table with the report in front of me. My wife entered, humming softly, pouring wine into a glass. Without a word, I slid the paper across the wood. She read. Her hand froze halfway to her lips. Her face drained, then twisted. "This doesn't change anything," she whispered. "It changes everything," I said. I spoke it without anger, without volume, just fact. She tried to reach for my hand. I didn't move. I leaned closer, my voice steady, almost gentle. "You never wanted her. That's why your mother tried to drown her. Because you told her she wasn't yours, that she was mine alone." Her mouth opened, but no words came. "I let you believe I was blind. I let you think your secret would rot quietly in the dark. But now," I stood, walking to my daughter's room. I returned with her, half asleep, small hand clutching mine. "She is mine, not yours. You forfeited that the moment you denied her breath." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. My daughter clung to me, and my wife collapsed against the table, sobbing not for loss, but for exposure. That was the wound she couldn't survive. I left that night, not with rage, not with chaos, Just a bag. My daughter's hand in mine. Silence our only ally. I didn't look back when my wife begged, when her mother shouted, when their world cracked beneath them. I drove into the night, my daughter asleep in the back seat, breathing the way only children can when the weight of truth no longer crushes them. There was no grief left in me, no pity, only clarity. Some lies bind families together. Ours was shattered by one. And in the ruin, I found freedom. The last thing I whispered to myself before the road swallowed us whole was simple. She is mine, and I am no longer yours.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.